And welcome back, everybody. This is Movies and Beyond, and I am here today with Kyle. Kyle, how are we doing?
I'm okay, thank you.
Wrong wall, mate. Wrong wall.
Part of me was hoping that it would be the wrong
do,
wall. I'm
you,
not sure which
do
way
you
it
know what? It's
was.
so weird for me because you were there for me,
Yeah,
so it's
and
like
you're there for
I
me.
know it's like right.
So
I
I'm
gotta look
looking
it
at it. It's
up.
weird. Yeah. I just want to get one thing off of my chest. I'm
Right.
still gonna watch the film. I'm not gonna boycott it and be a little bitch about it. But this is just a bit fucky. I spoke to you about this, Callum, just before the show started. IGN, I saw on their Instagram they uploaded something today. I was at work, just before work, and I saw this, and I was like, right, okay,
On your
this is a
phone
bit
at
fucky
work.
now. No, no, no. So I was on just going through Instagram, just looking at memes, whatever, and I follow IGN and stuff like that because they do have some good news sometimes. Sometimes they can be a bit slow, but I like IGN. So apparently, one of the producers of the films, Eric Newman, saying "fuck Star Wars" when um, I think he was like doing like some sort of interview or something. But yeah, him saying the point of, you know what it is, right? Like I said, I think the movie looks like a cheap Star Wars movie rip-off, and that's
Well,
me
Snyder
being,
originally pitched it as a Star Wars film back in
yeah.
2013.
But here's the thing: it's like, brutally honest, it does look like a cheap knockoff Star Wars movie. I still give it the benefit of the doubt, even though the trailer was absolute shite. I thought the trailer was awful. I thought it was a mess. It didn't really give us anything, and all it did was just show too much. And it just, I'm not basing my whole opinion on this set of two films just on the trailer, but everything leading up to it, it's getting me less and less excited. Personally, I don't think it looks like a Snyder film at all. I get it. Maybe he's trying something to do something new, but this just doesn't look Snydery at all. It just looks like I said, a rip off of Star Wars. I think there is some cool elements to it, maybe, but for now, it's not winning me over. Nothing about this, anything outside the marketing for this, is not hyping me up to see this movie. Like, if I had if I didn't have Netflix and this movie came out, I wouldn't subscribe to watch the film.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'll still watch it, because I've got Netflix. But if I didn't, I wouldn't go out of my way, subscribe for a month, and then watch the film. It's just no.
I think it's been said in like jest. It's like, oh well, fuck you, Star Wars. You didn't want us, so we're doing it by ourselves. I don't think it's like a malicious
Yeah,
thing.
maybe it's not in malicious way. We don't know the context of it, but it's just a case of, any PR for this is just kind of, you need really good PR, because from what I've seen, it's not winning a lot of people over. It's just kind of nah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying is, and if they're, slating off Star Wars, it's like, why do that? Like, we're all sci-fi fans here. We all love sci-fi. Why be that negative prong in the gears of moving things? Because it's just like, you want people to be excited for your movie and stuff like that, and this is just kind of like, maybe it was said in a jerky way. If it was, all right, I'll take back what I said. But you don't want any negative publicity with this, because so far it's not, not a lot of people are psyched for this film. I know sci-fi fans that I've spoken to, and they've said they've not even bothered watching the trailer. They've just like, oh, cool,
Yeah.
Rebel Moon. So
Um.
yeah.
I still think it looks interesting, but yeah, I think we just have to hear how that was said before we can really
Of
comment on
course,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Because if it was
I
said
just
as in oh, "fuck Star Wars," it's like,
Yeah,
well, I don't think it would have been said like that though, because obviously it draws a lot of inspiration from
yeah.
Star Wars. So the highest form of flattery is imitation.
But here's the thing. It's Deborah Snyder. She's also a producer on the films. She also said that she didn't want to be a part of the universe, of the Star Wars universe anyway. So it's like, well, okay, we know it's not a Star Wars movie, but you don't have to be like, we don't want to be a part of anything to do with that.
Well,
It's like,
they can do their own stuff then, can't they? That way.
yeah, yeah. That's what I mean. I'm glad about that, but it's just like, and then Eric Newman follows up with "fuck Star Wars." It's like, you know. But
Yeah.
here's the thing. I'm like I said, I think this movie needs some good marketing behind it. Um, I think Netflix, when the films get closer, Netflix will obviously push the marketing better. Um, but they definitely need to up the marketing, have good marketing. Because like I said, even if this isn't true, the trailer is still dog shit. Like
Yeah.
it's still a bad trailer.
Well, we'll have to see when film comes out, and there'll be interviews closer to when the film comes out, and they'll say, "Oh, it's got a lot of inspiration from Star Wars," and they'll say, "Yeah, we love Star Wars." So, but anyway, Kyle, topic number one. I was just about to change over to something then, but don't need to because it's here. Jeff Loveness and Michael Waldron are off Avengers Kang Dynasty and Avengers Secret Wars. Now, when I speak about this, I'm going to speak about this in a way that is... So, we did a story last week talking about Taika Waititi possibly coming back to do 4-5, and I got a comment on that video, someone just saying no thanks. A lot of people are against that. But the thing with Taika Waititi is he has proven himself in the Marvel Universe. He has got Thor Ragnarok. And then there's Love and Thunder, which he can learn from and improve and probably do a better 4-5. So the thing is with these two is more Jeff Loveness than Michael Waldron is. We'll start with Jeff Loveness because I really think these guys were a 2-for-1 package. If one of them wasn't doing one, the other one's not going to be doing the other. So, this is coming from My Time to Shine. Hello. Jeff Loveness is off Avengers Kang Dynasty. That is also the writer of Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. And Michael Waldron is also off Avengers Secret Wars. And obviously he did Loki Season 1 and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So, with Loveness coming off, I really feel like they had to take Waldron off as well because they would have been writing a similar story. I'm going to give Waldron a bit more credit though and think they could have kept Waldron because I did really like Loki Season 1 and I didn't think Multiverse of Madness were all that bad. But if Loveness is going, then Waldron's got to go. Obviously these two work together as well on Rick and Morty, so they were probably writing something together, if anything, rather than one's just doing that and one's just doing the other. Do you think this is the right move, taking these writers off?
Listen, I don't like Quantumania. You know how I stand with that. I don't like it at all, really. The only best part of it is Kang, obviously. And when they changed the ending of it, which is apparently what happened with the
Big
film, because
mistake.
apparently, which apparently, so if for context of this, Ant-Man Quantumania, it wouldn't have saved the film entirely, but it would have definitely bumped the film up for me personally. You know what I mean? It would have given it an extra point or two.
I'm sitting at about a 5.5, but if that ending changed, I'd have definitely taken it up to maybe a 7. If the ending changed,
potentially a 7, maybe 6.5, 6.5, 7. Yeah. So apparently, this is the gist of what happened. Is the script was leaked of the ending, especially the ending part was leaked, and Marvel caught onto this and was like, "Oh shit, we need to change this." And apparently, if I'm not mistaken, it was a very very quick change.
yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a month before the film came out.
Yeah, it was very, which was a stupid thing. I mean, yes, this film was, it would have been spoiled for people and stuff, but that's if you look at it. That's if you go chasing it. And I get it. They still want a bit of suspense behind the movies. Marvel movies do that really well. But here's the thing: you've had Endgame, you've had Infinity War, you've had all these big movies. You had No Way Home. No Way Home is a bit of an exception, but you've managed to keep all this stuff. Like the Battle of Endgame was something that was they had like a CGI concept of it back in 2017 or something
14.
like that. 14?
2014.
That's what I'm saying. So they had all this. They have, they can keep leaks under wraps. It's just they should have really kept on board with keeping that leak, or being top security with it. So if anyone's to blame, I kind of blame Marvel a little bit, because it's like, if this was really important and this was, they should have had, all hands on deck on keeping this script and keeping everything behind closed doors. They can do it. They are capable of doing it, but there is. It's not entirely Marvel's fault. I'm not saying that. It's whoever leaked it. It's their fault. But at the same time, it's like, I feel like Marvel should have kept the original plan for what it was.
Yeah, but do you think it's fair getting rid of these two writers right now?
I'll be honest. Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness. I enjoyed the film, but it wasn't.
It's got some stuff to like about it. There's stuff in it to like.
But that's it. There's nothing else. There's nothing I love.
Whereas the thing with Quantum Mania is there's one thing to like about it.
Yeah, it's just Kang.
Yeah.
Now that's not even the writers. That's got nothing to do with the writers, right? It's just I love the presence of Kang. And obviously the actor who plays him. So that's what I mean when it comes to that. As for them getting fired, I mean, Marvel are taking it back a notch, aren't they? So maybe this is part of their taking it back. If they've got great people working for them and are willing to work for them. You've got the director of the Black Panther movies, Shang-Chi director.
On next topic, we're going to get into some of this, but
Okay. All right, yeah, sorry, yeah, you're right.
So,
yeah, just saying it.
For me, I do think it's fair. No, he tried with Quantum Mania. Clearly couldn't do it.
I'm surprised. They're both Rick and Morty writers.
Both Rick and Morty writers.
And one of them did Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness.
And Loki season 1. So
Multiverse of Madness shouldn't have been the way it was, man.
Yeah.
They could have done so much good
I think a
stuff.
lot of the thing with Multiverse of Madness as well is mismarketing. I feel like if it was marketed as something else, people would probably enjoy it a bit more. But so yeah, Michael Waldron, he wrote.
You can't really market it differently if it's Multiverse of Madness in the film.
Michael Waldron, he wrote Loki season 1, and he wrote Multiverse of Madness. But yeah, these two would have clearly been working together and writing into his story. So they kind of had to be working together. One reason why I'm quite happy that Jeff Loveness is off it is, he was just talking about the film openly on Twitter. Like, I'm not big spoilers, but like he was saying some stuff like I'm not even going to repeat here, because it's like, oh well, I'd have kind of liked maybe like a cast announcement, everyone getting brought out on stage or something like that, and he was just talking about people who might be in the film. So that kind of wound me up.
He was kind of saying stuff like,
it's going to be hard to write for so and so. How are they going to deal with Kang?
How are we going to get this character in here? How are we going to put? How is that dynamic going to work between this character and this villain and Kang and stuff like that? So yeah.
Again, I stress that this is a completely different point to bringing Taika Waititi back, because Taika Waititi has proven he can do it. It's just obviously Jeff Loveness has not, and Michael Waldron maybe he does work better in a TV format, because I think a lot of people would say Loki is the favourite MCU show. I'm pretty sure it's yours. On the list, I'm pretty sure it was your number 4, wasn't it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just over Invincible, wasn't it?
So, yeah. So anyway, but with them two fired, this opens some doors. So who are the candidates? One thing I will say, Destin Daniel Cretton, the director of Shang-Chi, I think he is a lock to direct Kang Dynasty. They announced that a long time ago. I think he is 100% a lock. But people are talking. Phil Lord and Chris Miller of Spider-Verse fame. So I've gone with duos here, duo writers. because I feel like they need to come together and write them both. So this is what I've gone with. But yeah, Phil Lord and Chris Miller of Spider-Verse fame. Obviously was famously attached to Solo, but then got fired. So I think that's the least likely option, because I don't think they would come back and work for Disney. But a lot of people want to see Phil Lord and Chris Miller. My wild card one is Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick. These guys wrote Deadpool 1 and Deadpool 2, and are writing Deadpool 3. Well, I've written Deadpool 3. I think they're great. But I think the ones that everyone wants to see is Marcus and McFeely. The writers of Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame, and the Russo brothers have said they would only return to direct 10 years later. They said they'd return in 10 years if they was going to do anything Marvel, and they said they would return for Secret Wars, and they've said they would only return if Marcus and McFeely were writing. I think Marvel now are trying to at least get the Russos to direct Secret Wars and get Marcus and McFeely to write both the films. But what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I do like, obviously, Miller
Lord and Miller.
Yeah, Lord and Miller. They're obviously great candidates. I don't think they've really had a bad.
I think they do an amazing job. I really do.
I think they do really, really well. Especially after watching Spider-Verse. I love Across the Spider-Verse. I love both of them, man. They're both perfect films. If anyone's going to be able to do these big crazy movies, especially Secret Wars, which is going to be the craziest Marvel movie ever, like hands down ever. I don't think we'll get anything like it ever again. They are more than capable to do it. That being said, I would much prefer having someone like the Russo brothers and obviously their writers as well. Just not because it's like they've done Endgame and Infinity War and all these great other films and stuff.
Can I just say this one thing? You could not live with your own failure. And where did that bring you? Back to me.
Yeah. I only say that for the Russos. They just get it a little bit higher than Lord and Miller because
this would just be the Russos to direct Secret Wars.
Yeah.
Marcus and McFeely to write Kang Dynasty.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So
Secret Wars.
That's what I mean. If they, I much prefer to bring them back because they're familiar with the MCU as it is. They know what works.
And one more thing, the other thing the Russos said they would return to do is Secret Wars and Wolverine. Well, who's been rumoured to have quite a big part in Secret Wars that we reported last week or the week before. Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. So it seems like the stars are aligning in a special way. And this film's going to be coming out about 10 years after Endgame and Infinity War. So it's all lining up.
If anyone can do it, it's these guys. I think maybe Lord and Miller could have, something to do with Kang Dynasty. I feel like that'll be a bit more of a contained movie.
Yeah.
Because obviously the Spider-Verse films are great, and they have all this Spider-Verse stuff, especially the second one. But they still have a nice, packed in, really well done story with Miles in them. And Kang Dynasty, I feel like it's going to be like that, maybe like a smaller team, and then in Secret Wars you're going to have theorized 3 teams.
Yeah.
And I feel like if anyone can handle 3 teams and the big bad and everything else going on in the film and all the little cameos,
they've already done it with Infinity
That's
War.
What I'm saying.
2
That's
teams
what I'm saying.
there, so
these guys, they can do it. But Lord and Miller, I think they could probably do Kang Dynasty. I'd like them to do Kang Dynasty.
My only issue is I want the writers to write Kang Dynasty into Secret Wars. That's what I want. Don't get me wrong, I know Marcus and McFeely could do a great job with Secret Wars, and Lord and Miller could do a great job with Kang Dynasty. I just want that, because we're missing it in the MCU right now, that connectivity. Because they will write more callback lines to, stuff that's... Because Marcus and McFeely knew what people would be saying for a year before Endgame came out. It was like, why didn't Thor go for the head? Why didn't Thor go for the head? They already knew that, so they writ it into the next script. When Rocket says to Thor, what have you done? And he goes, I went for the head. So that's just kind of like the I want that more of a through line. But what do you think of the Deadpool writers? Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick?
I again, that's more of a those guys from what we've seen in the Deadpool movies. It's more contained,
Yeah.
So like the way I look at it is that Deadpool is a very like Deadpool movie. Obviously, you got Teenage Warhead and obviously Colossus, and there's kind of a bit of a team there, and Dopender, and then they introduce Cable and
Domino.
Domino. That's it. Yeah, I was gonna say who's Zazie Beet's character. So he can do it more of a team, but it is still when you watch those films, it's still Deadpool as the center of that. He's the core of it. He's the gel that
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say gel. He's the thing that it's all revolving around him essentially. And if they did it for like an Avengers film, then it wouldn't feel too Avengery because it's focusing on one character only, and then you've got the rest of the team. So that's what I mean. Like,
can I just tell you who's definitely going to have a writing credit on Secret Wars?
Go on.
If the character appears, Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds will definitely have a writing credit on Secret Wars. It's like James Gunn wrote all the Guardians dialogue for Infinity War and Endgame because he knows them characters better. But I've said this for a long time though. Someone who I would like to see. Obviously, my number one pick is the Russo brothers. I did my top 10 comic book films earlier last week, and you just rip ass. You just fight. Kyle, you don't think I'd hear that? Short, clip it. That's a shot. That's a shot. That's what you clip.
Clip that.
Clip that. But obviously, the people who I'd like to see more is the Russo brothers. Because all four of their MCU films were in my top 10 comic book films of all time. But one I have floated that I'd like to see for a long time is Ryan Coogler. I think he's a great director, and I think he did the best he could do with Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Shit situation, but he did the best he could do. But then here's something else interesting. I don't know how this would work. Maybe Destin Daniel Cretton and Ryan Coogler teaming up. Maybe. I know directors like to work by themselves though, and I know Destin Daniel Cretton not right now because the strikes, but he was working on Wonder Man before the strikes kicked in. But yeah, I think these are the good options. I think these are the safe picks, and I do think we're going to find out probably after the strike's done, because I'm pretty sure they've already wrote a thingy to them. I'm pretty sure we're going to find out after the strike's done. Max and McFeely and the Russo brothers. The Russo brothers are going to be directing Secret Wars, and 2, Max and McFeely are going to be writing Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. So, yeah. Anyway, we got some bad news last week. Dune Part 2 has been pushed back to 2024, but there's some good stuff. Denis Villeneuve has been doing interviews lately. He's been talking about Dune Messiah, which is the second book in the Dune franchise, but it's nowhere near as big as the first book. And have you just fired again?
No, I'm laughing at the way because you always say like you don't go there, you go they is. So I know it's not him saying that.
That's what he said?
He didn't say they. He's a fucking writer.
I don't know.
As for context in the audience, Callum, for some reason, I do it sometimes.
It's just Yorkshire, I think.
I think it's just
it definitely is a Yorkshire thing.
Probably.
Anyway, these words on paper. That's what he said. He has started writing it. Well, not properly.
It's like when you say Thor, you go Thor.
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 Listen, just because I'm a little Yorkshire pudding, but he started writing it before the strike. I think he's done a draft of the third film, and he says it is dependent on obviously how well the second one does. Now, I do believe the second film is going to do well, because the first one did well, considering it was day and date release.
Can I ask a question? Were they a bit skeptical on this dude directing it because of Blade Runner? Is that why why they didn't let him shoot back to back?
No, they didn't let him shoot back to back because of the financial risk of it, but they should have just let him do
but
it.
because of what happened with Blade Runner.
I think so, yeah.
Because that movie flopped, didn't it?
It did.
It was good. It was good. I love that
Yeah.
film, but it flopped.
So if this man's already got a plan to do a third film, I want to see it. I know the third book is very weird. I won't spoil it, but it goes into like terraforming and stuff like that, and like psychedelic shit. So yeah, but if Denis Villeneuve's going to do it, then I am completely up for a Dune Part 3 or Dune Messiah, as they'll probably call it. So what do you think the chances of a Dune Part 3 getting made are?
I mean, if the movie does well, then yeah. I mean, people want to see more of it. You know, we don't have anything Star Wars-y, sci-fi-y coming out other than that Rebel Moon. But this is like big and theatrical. This is like a masterpiece. You know, it's like a. I know Dune is older. You know, is not older, but you know what I mean. It is older than Star Wars, and
By a
obviously
lot,
Star
yeah.
Wars took it by a
Yeah.
lot, which you know, and it did take a lot of inspiration. Star Wars took a lot of inspiration from Dune, but right now, man, we've got nothing sci-fi in the cinemas that much. We've got that creator coming out, but that seems like a more of a futuristic-esque Terminator, you know, but it's like Terminator Salvation kind of thing. It kind of feels like a District 9 or something like that, along the lines of that. But we haven't got anything that's big and cinematic and, you know, makes you want to go to cinema and see it in IMAX. Sci-fi kind of thing. There's nothing really in the cinema that's there at the moment. We've got plenty of superhero films. We've got plenty of historical films. Obviously, I'm going to say Barbie then. Oppenheimer. And then you got Barbie, which was like a really nice treat. You know, it was just a kind of like, you know, it was pretty good. And that was just a bit more of a silly comedy kind of film, but it was still good. That's not to say it wasn't good, but it was more of a comedy. So, probably, most likely, yeah. I think we will. I think
do you
he's going to plea it to them. He said, "Look at Dune 1. It did better than you thought. We're doing Dune 2. It's probably going to do even better." You know?
Do you think he could pitch it as sort of, because the first one was nominated for a lot of awards, I'm pretty sure the second one's going to be nominated for a lot of awards as well. Do you think he could pitch it as more as maybe not a financial film, but more of like, this will get you more Oscars on your mantles? Because we know studios like that as well.
They do, but
I know they like money more.
money talks. Yeah, money talks. I think maybe if it's like, you know, look, the best way you can pitch it is like, this is like what they did with the Harry Potter movies, where we've got quite a few multiple films, and then when you do your final sort of set of movies, you're gonna make a lot of money. And it's same with the MCU. You know, it built up. Some of them dudded, some of them did really well, and then you got obviously Infinity War and Endgame, which did the best. You know, so it's a build up. If they're willing, if these you know, if the studio's willing to take a bit of a, not a risk, it's not really, it is a risk, but it's not that much of a risk, and just take their time with it and don't rush it. They've got this guy here who's willing to see it through to the end. You know,
Probably one of the greatest directors working today. A lot of people would say he is.
Exactly, he's willing to see this to the end, and with that, you know, they've got like a good projection of like, all right, when he does the final film, it's gonna be like, ooh, he's gonna make, you know, quite a bit. So,
I
yeah.
say just let him do it. I say just let him do it, no matter the financial outcome of Dune Part 2, which I do think will be good. But, yeah, no, let him do it. 100%.
Dune 2 will do good.
Yeah. Do you know what? I think he deserves it as well. You know,
Absolutely.
I think he, you know, he might even like sell his soul a little bit and go, look, let me do Dune 3. and then I'll let you bring some scripts to me, and I'll pick one to do. Don't think he would, though. I know he likes to write his own stuff, but yeah. But anyway, Kyle, I promise this is the last time we're going to be talking about Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle's second weekend, it made 12.5 million in its second weekend, so it didn't take such a dramatic drop that the Flash took. The Flash had a nearly 70% drop. The Flash made $55 million, so yeah, Blue Beetle made about 40? No, it didn't. It made 25 million for its opening weekend, so just less than a 50% drop. So that's good. But yeah, no, it's not looking good. I've seen a lot of people making the argument that Blue Beetle's made $81 million worldwide, and the budget was only $108 million. It's gonna break even. This film will maybe make that $108 million, but then you're not factoring in marketing costs, what it takes to promote this film, which they said they weren't going to do a right lot of, but I started seeing a lot more promotion here, promotion there, promotion everywhere. So it's like they was promoting this film. So even if this film has, half a marketing budget that other films do, this film is still going to lose money. It's not a win for DC. Critically, it is a win. Financially, no chance. So, obviously, we kind of know where DC is going from here, but what do you think Aquaman's going to do? That's what I want to ask you from this.
It won't hit $1 billion. I think it'll do better than this. Maybe potentially better than The Flash. I think it'll do better, but it won't be as big as it
Jason
once
Momoa
was.
is a big star. A lot of people love him.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. That's the reason why it will do better than these films.
Yeah. No. The thing with DC is, right now, I think they announced that they were rebooting the universe at the wrong time. I think they should have let this slate come out. But then, obviously, they are behind on getting the new stuff made. So it's like, but people need to know what stuff's coming as well. So, James Gunn's new universe, I think will do well. I think it's going to struggle for people to get into it at first. I think that first Superman film, I think it's only going to make about 500 million, which is good. But I think DC needs to know this and not be the reactionary company that they've been in the past. And they need to get that film out and then go, right, this is a good stepping stone. They need to equate it to a Captain America, a Thor, an Iron Man. Go, right, these films made like this much money. Let's build this universe now. Let's go for critical success first and then build up from that. But do you see James Gunn's new universe suffering, maybe, or?
It'll have a slower start. Definitely slower than the DCEU, the current the kind of current universe. I think will have a slightly slower start to that, to the DCU. It will have a slower start, but I think it will do very, very well. People will jump on it. People are like, people might be getting sick of Marvel, and we won't, but some people might, and they might want to go onto DC side, or they might just like both. You know what I mean? More superhero movies. Why not? More things to go see in the cinema. I think it'll be pretty cool. Hopefully, one day that we get a Marvel movie and a DC movie come out the same day. That'd be pretty badass. I don't think that'd ever happen, but that'd be cool. It's like going to see a Marvel,
especially
DC
now
film.
that Kevin Feige and James Gunn are both the heads of each studio. We both know these men have got a lot of respect for each other. So it's like, I don't even think they'd do it a week after now. I think they'd wait a good month.
Yeah,
I could be wrong though. Obviously, because Peter Safran's going to be dealing with more of the studio side of it, and James Gunn's the creative, but who knows? Just it's not looking well for DC and Blue Beetle, and anyone who tells you that Blue Beetle will break even is fucking lying to you. I don't get this thing with people who like films who then can't admit when that film has bombed. That's not going to affect you liking or disliking this film any more than what you already do. Same channel again, I seen today, posting, Blue Beetle's going to break even, guys. This is great. Who knows, we might get a sequel. You're not getting a Blue Beetle sequel. You're not. And this film will not break even. Because, yeah, they'll post the facts about, oh, here's its budget, but they won't tell you the marketing budget. But for Quantum Mania, that, you know, I'm assuming this person don't like Marvel, because I've been through the channel and it seems like they hate Marvel. They will tell you that it's...
Sorry, guys, it's called a little rant.
Yeah,
all right.
They'll tell you that Quantum Mania has flopped. It's not the outcome that Marvel wanted, which I will agree. Quantum Mania did flop. But then the reality of it is, even with this 81 million here, Marvel this year has made more money with Quantum Mania than DC has made with Shazam, The Flash, and Blue Beetle. The Flash, one of the members of the Justice League, and it had 2 versions of Batman in. And Marvel has made more money with possibly one of their worst films. Free. Yes.
Free.
Marketed with 2. So, don't be fooled, children. But it's not... It's a bad thing for the studio that it's flopped, yeah. But if you like the film, that's great. Instead of posting about how much money it's making, let people know how great you think the film is and spread the word that way. Because clearly the word of mouth didn't translate. Because we'd have seen maybe it making about 20 million this weekend. But it's made 12. So, yeah. Anyway, Kyle, final topic. Five Nights at Freddy's. Rotten Tomatoes put up, you know, when they usually start putting the things up and it's like, tells you the runtime of the film at the top. They put up that this film was 3 hours long. They have since taken it down. But, let's run with this for a second. 3 hours for Five Nights at Freddy's. Is it too long?
I don't know anything about Five Nights at Freddy's.
No, neither do I.
I don't know.
I
don't know if it's supposed to be a thriller horror. I'm not sure.
I wouldn't have thought... I know there's a lot of lore behind it, but I wouldn't have thought that this is a film you could get 3 hours out of. You know, there's no worse than long horror films. You know, everybody likes the...
I think if I don't know much about the story and the lore behind Five Nights at Freddy's, but I do know there is some lore behind it of like the machines being alive and stuff like that,
being dead kids and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that you know, it's like, oh, he was the guy who worked there or was something, and he became one of the robots, and he talks about it in the games and stuff. I think that's what it is. So we might see some extra stuff, kind of like what they did with The Last of Us, where they added some extra bits beforehand, showing the bits, you know, because we never see it in the games. We only like hear about it, you know, the world before the outbreak in The Last of Us. So maybe it's the same thing here. Is, you know, they're showing us more of the background stuff that you don't see in the games. Because the game focuses on the here and now. As far as I'm aware, I don't think it actually ever goes back into the past. I think it just talks about it in the game. Whereas this, in the movie, it's going to show you, and it'll, you know, build out that story and the lore and stuff.
Yeah. Who knows? 3 hours might be the perfect runtime for this. I've got no problem with sitting down watching 3 hour films. I'll do it. The Batman, Avengers, Endgame. All I say is keep me entertained the whole time. Just keep me entertained. I mean, yes, I will probably spend half this film with my head in a popcorn bucket. But still, the popcorn bucket will be nice. Another thing as well, are you looking forward to this film?
Yeah, I don't know anything about it.
I know
You
it
know,
comes out the week after we get back from Liverpool.
I mean, shit, it's a video game film. I'm looking forward to it. You
Do you
know,
know what?
because they've been getting good.
This has the potential to be the best video game film. I wouldn't say the best video game adaptation because that's going to go to Last of Us and that will probably always be Last of Us now. But this is a chance to be the best video game film that's ever been made. I know some people like Sonic.
Sonic 2 specifically, I think it is.
But,
Yeah, I've not seen it. I want to see it. I haven't seen it.
yeah. But anyway, I think that will do us for today. Let us know what you think down below. Who do you think should be writing the Avengers films? Obviously, we've lost the directors, but who do you think should be writing them? And are you excited for Dune Part 3 or Dune Messiah and Blue Beetle? It's still losing money, but who cares? So, I've been Callum. That's been Kyle.
Also, just real quick, thinking about it, if it pans out well, I'm gonna do a little bit of research tomorrow, and I'm gonna try get a good gaming video up and running. I've got an idea. I'm gonna talk to Callum about it tomorrow, but I'm not working tomorrow, so I've got a bit of free time. I'm gonna try see if I can work on it. It's gonna be a bit different to Movies and Beyond the movies part. It's gonna be a little bit streamlined, I guess.
Sexual.
It's still gonna be a conversation thing, but it's not gonna be like just constantly talking about one subject or anything like that. It's just yeah. We'll see how it goes, but I have an idea, so hopefully I'll get that done tomorrow and it'll be up tomorrow. Also, Starfield comes out on, well, early access comes out on Friday. I'll be playing the shit out of that, so I still will be doing the Friday show, but I'll just be very eager to get off and continue playing it. I can't lie.
He's hoping there's no news on Friday.
I might be all hyped up and I might be covered in Doritos and Gatorade
Semen.
and you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So excuse me for my appearance on Friday. But I'm hoping to maybe get the review up and running for the game on Sunday. Just because it's the biggest game. I know Spider-Man 2 is like the second biggest game of the year, I think, for me personally, but Starfield is my number one, and I think it is for a lot of people. So fuck it, I'll do a review for it. It's technically I get it early and I get to release the review for it, technically speaking. So yeah. Callum won't be reviewing it because he's currently banned. I'm joking. He doesn't have an Xbox. But yeah, I'm specifically getting an Xbox for this game, and I cannot wait. So I will do a review for that. It will release on Sunday, but tomorrow
Sunday review.
there should be a nice little, cool little gaming video that I'll be in charge of.
Can't wait to see it.
Yep.
But right, that'll do us for today. Like, subscribe, share, comment, all the good stuff. Yeah, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Give us a kiss, Kyle.